Hey everybody, it's Jeremy with AFOLs Only with your host.
Austin.
And we got a little bit of a different schedule today for this episode, and it's gonna be a little bit shorter, but we were just having some conversations on our end, and we decided to bring it to the podcast. Like, what's the deal with Dungeons and Dragons? Is it really such a big phenomenon that Lego picked it up?
I believe 100% that like the set itself is pretty cool, but I feel that Lego could go even further and they can make a couple more sets based around this. It's a great building tool, honestly, and I feel that Lego being, about a thing about creativity, Dungeons and Dragons being also about creativity, I think it's a match made in heaven.
Yeah, I agree. I love Dungeons and Dragons, and we both love it, and we both play our own little campaigns and stuff like that. And it's very big in the pop culture scene. Once again, there's media like Stranger Things, and now Lego's picked it up with the giant their idea set, that really big set. It's an amazing set. I can't wait till I get my hands on it and I can build it myself and everything, and do the little campaign that comes with it. But it's very uniquely done. It looks very good. The CMF series for Dungeons and Dragons is amazing. I need every single fig. I need multiple of every single fig. And just the fact that it leads to more creation, more creativity, and the fact that you could literally play Dungeons and Dragons with Lego if you wanted to. You could use the minifigs, and then you can make a map out of bricks. Like, who wouldn't want to make a dungeon out of bricks? It's easy. There's parts available for that, and I think it's really cool, and it could go a long way with that.
I mean, it's great. Like, you see a lot of people, and they take a lot of pride in their stuff. So they will go and they'll sculpt, print, or even purchase miniatures and paint them up to look like their characters and all that. But it's Lego has been around for a long time, and they have made quite a slew of different beings and all that. And why not use Lego like for every day? I mean, you don't even need to get the D&D set as it is. You could just use Lego. There are so many things like you can make towns, you can make entire things. If you're creative with Lego and you've been wanting to try D&D, I highly would suggest use starting, a Lego D&D thing. It doesn't have to be completely Lego. Like, you're not going to sit there and be like, you've collected studs. You could just use them as filler, because we both know those miniatures are they're kind of pricey in a way. And if you already have one hobby that's expensive, like, collecting Lego or other bricks, that it's going to be a bit pricey either way. But you can
Yeah.
only spend it on one than the other. And I mean, I'm pretty sure nobody would even bat an eye. They'd probably think that's a very ingenious way of doing it.
Yeah, imagine if you're not good at painting, right? And you don't have access to a resin or 3D printer or even these miniatures, but you have a bunch of Lego. And the fact that if you have the Lego, you're not worried about painting, you're not worried about sanding or anything, stuff like that, or gluing. You can literally put a figure together with all these little different shapes and arm colors and everything that Lego has to offer. And that's readily available, like via Bricklink or the Pick a Brick and stuff like that, or older collections and stuff like that. You have helmets, you have swords, you have shields, you have other stuff, and everything's homebrewed nowadays. Nobody really plays basic, the rules kind of say. Everybody's all homebrewed, and you can make your own little character. And I think that's a really cool prospect to bring to the table when doing this. Like, I'm really excited for when I buy that big set. I would definitely want to bring the boys around, and we can have a D&D sesh about that new Lego set, because it comes with a little book ready for it. And I'm excited to see what it can offer inside that playset.
I'm gonna play a bard. I'm just 100% telling you, I'm gonna play a bard.
And I'm just so excited for the Dragonborns that are in there. I know there's a Paladin Dragonborn in the CMF. God forbid you actually want to get some other different colored dragon heads. I'm not going to get into that right now. I'm just saying they're not worth $90, but it is really cool, the creativity you can have with Lego figs, and I just think it's so cool. There's so much to do with it, and I think it opens up an avenue for a lot. I'm not saying this needs to be every quarter we need a set or something, but this is a theme that should stem away from ideas and stay as its own sub theme, and go ahead and release one, maybe 2 a year or something like that. I think that'd be fine, and let it, or make expansion packs or something. See, like the ideas are there, and I think it'd be really cool to see that.
I think Lego could actually really benefit from, kind of pushing this role play game, tabletop game simulator, because Lego has in the past done they've done their own board games, pseudo
Mm-hmm.
board games. You build this, you build the board game, and then you build the die, and you go. And I feel like with a much mature audience entering, you have people that are getting into Dungeons and Dragons. You informed me that actually in the service there's quite a few people that are into Dungeons and Dragons, and it's
Yeah.
like kids are getting into it. Adults have always been into it, and now they're coming back. So why not capitalize on this market? I mean, it's like it's a match made in heaven. Dungeons and Dragons, and it's not just like you don't have to do like the Nordic. Is that how you would say it? Nordic, like with dragons and such. Like I forget. There's a term for it, but you would basically you could make expansions. Like you could have like what the current set is about, like the red dragon, right? And then you could have a set based around some other thing. Maybe there's a haunted ship. Maybe there is. You could literally do it, and I think the endless possibilities of
Yeah.
these would be really cool.
And like the imagination is there, right? We always talk about it, like with Lego growing up as kids and playing with it. It was your imagination, right? It was close to it enough where you could believe it. And as you get older and like you make your own little lore and your own little sets and stuff like that, like I can see using the D&D sets if they make multiple ones, like yeah, there's the Red Dragon's Keep or something like that, versus this is the Spectre's Swamp, and you make little sets or expansions based off of that. You can literally do anything going into that where it just like goes, oh, we can combine the sets, or you can even use your old sets and imagine that this is a ship, like use the Barracuda's base ship and use that as a set, or like that's you have a storyline there. Who's to say like you need to buy all the new sets? You can just do whatever. I mean, like half the time when we play D&D, we're playing one shots and we are just making it up as we go, or we made it up and let our friends experience what we made up and stuff like that. So I think the idea is there, and I would like to see it more. I 100%. I mean, as much as I love Dungeons and Dragons, I'm not a big on the miniatures because I'm not good at painting and I don't like painting. But if you give me a brick built already colored and I can just change some colors if I wanted to, like put different arms on, put different torso on, different head, I can do that. Like that's fun because there's different combinations you can do and it's already colored.
So you mentioned pirates, so now I'm like thinking like, ooh, it would be kind of cool to do a bit of a pirate D&D session on that.
Yeah,
Like I think that'd be kind of funny to do. Like you just have like some goofy pirates Dungeons and Dragons going.
yeah, and Dungeons and Dragons is fun to play. I mean, I know when we did the Rick and Morty one that I DN'd for, that was really fun to do and be creative with it. I mean, I took a lot of liberties with it because it is funny. It's supposed to be funny. And then there's serious ones too. I've played in very serious campaigns, and it gets it's really fun, and I enjoy it. It's so meta, like if that makes sense. Like Lego Minecraft is meta too because like building blocks, like it's meta, like it's funny. And but Dungeons and Dragons it just Lego, like making it Lego. It brings two things that I really love and it puts them together, and I'm all for it because less things for me to buy if it's all in one IP.
Well, I mean the meme used to be that Minecraft was Lego but cheaper. And now look at it. It's like now you can get Lego Minecraft, and I'm honestly surprised they haven't really done a bit of a DLC for Minecraft and Lego and all that. I know there's some like resource packs out for it, but I would love to play like a Lego Minecraft game.
Yeah,
I
like
think that'd be really
like
fun.
Lego Fortnite at least came out with now Lego's actually releasing the Fortnite sets, even though they've had the game mode for a little bit. And the game mode's fun. It's just another survival little cartoon survival game. It's fun for a little bit for me. But I think Minecraft does have a better charm to it when it comes to that kind of thing. But I do think that like Lego, they're hitting with some of these IPs, and I do enjoy that. It's really cool to see again, like Dungeons and Dragons get some shine on, other than from Stranger Things or something like that. Like actually getting something that I will personally want to invest in, i.e. the Lego the Red Dragon's Keep, I think is what it's called, and the CMF series that I am just like hunting for every time I go to Walmart or somewhere. I'm always sniffing around for it.
And I'm surprised I haven't seen like it on stores. The fact that we found those minifigures at a Walmart, like hidden,
Yeah, yeah.
that was like pure gold because there was like somebody had hid those.
And the crazy thing is, it was our second pass through too. Like we were just walking, and we're like, "Oh, we didn't see anything." And then something told me just check the that little section, and I just started digging, and there's no way I found all those. Like it was
That
crazy.
was pretty lucky. I'm not gonna lie. And all those figures came out, and it's like at first I was saying like those figures are gonna be great. Opening those figures and seeing them in person, it's no wonder these figures are going to be as highly desired because they are just so good. There's only like 2 or 3 of them that have regular legs.
Yeah,
Everyone else has either weird new legs or they have like that dress piece, but it's like they just have all these unique pieces it's ridiculous like how in depth these have gotten.
and
And
just the designs of them, they're so well done. I mean, like I'm just looking at them. The mind flare is amazing. The legs on the bird person, which is I always forget their species name, but the half elf bard is so cool. I mean, these are just amazing pieces. Then there's actual thought behind these. If that like there's actual thought and like genuine fun behind these.
it's kind of cool. It also in the little list that shows you which ones there are, so you can mark them off. It shows blue like which ones are the good guys and which ones are the bad guys.
Hmm.
I honestly, even if you're not into Dungeons and Dragons, these figures have such unique parts that you're not gonna want to miss these. It's just they're just so good. I literally can't stop talking about these how great these are. I can't wait to get the whole set.
And what I didn't notice until looking at them recently again, most of the heads of like the heroes, or I'm saying the people in blue, if they have a normal minifig head, it looks like they're the opposite face on them, so they have two faces on each. They are guy and girl, so you can really have
But
essentially double the minifigs because they're either guy or girl.
are they really? I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, I mean, take a closer look at the when you get the chance, anybody, to look at your checklist, and if you look at the top left above the image picture, like, and then you look at the normal picture, they're different, and it shows like obviously like lipstick for the girls and like more masculine features for the guys. Obviously, the Dragonborn you can't tell; it's a freaking Dragonborn, but like the elf on the elf bard has like lipstick, like pink lipstick or blue lipstick on it instead of the normal face, which I think is pretty cool. So that covers your bases right there for you. Like
I'm
for anybody trying to get into it.
I'm a little like I don't want to say I'm glad because I haven't seen it yet, but I'm kind of relieved that they didn't base this purely on the Dungeons and Dragons movie.
Oh
I
yeah,
I haven't seen the movie and I haven't
yeah.
heard anything about it, so I am either saying that's good or that's bad. But I'm glad that they went and did like an actual Dungeons and Dragons thing instead of just going off a movie. Which I mean, I'm pretty sure like if the movie's good, then I'm probably like I'll try to watch it and I want to get sets on it. But honestly, it would be like it's great that how original and stuff. I'm pretty sure that the campaign is something based on another campaign that has been done a million times. But it's honestly I can't wait to go around and look and see who's done the campaign and get their honest opinion about it. And hopefully you get that set soon. We can do that, and who knows? Maybe we'll even record it and see how it goes.
Yeah, I do think I think it's crazy. I mean, like talking about it, the more I talk about it, the more I'm like I really want to get it, the more I'm excited for it, the more that it just proves how meta it is, and it's fun. It's a fun little thing. I love it. I want more of it. I hope there's more of it. I've seen a lot of custom stuff online or a bunch of off-brand bricks and stuff like that, and it just makes me want Lego to do it more. Like I've been excited for Lego themes. You know, a lot of them have come out and a lot of them have gone, but this is one Ideas theme that I think needs to become its own sub theme, and let it produce some sets every year or every other quarter or something like that. Like you can do a lot of unique stuff. I mean, we don't have, and the beauty of it, don't make main characters. We don't need main characters. Make unique and make at some point make Dragonborns like every class or something, right? Like do something like that. There's classes. There's all this unique stuff you can do, different colors, like male or female, like you can do that. That's why like, these minifigs actually I'm excited. I actually like that idea that you're not stuck with just them. Like the more creativity, the better. Am I right?
Yeah, I'm looking at them right now, and yeah, you get different. You can have different like genders for the figure, which is actually really cool because you never know. Maybe you want to. Now I have to get 2 sets so I can have each each set.
Yeah.
Like, God damn it.
Just spending the money, but I think I really didn't notice that until I took a deeper look recently, and I'm like, that's really cool. And I haven't gotten any of those particular minifigs that have those faces, and I'm excited to see it on there. I hope it isn't. I assume that's what it is. It better not be where you have to hopefully get one that has a different face. That'll be kind of crazy, but I doubt it. I mean, Lego wouldn't do that. Hopefully.
I don't know. Maybe that's their chase thing going.
No, but I think it's really cool. I think it's really cool. It's really unique. And again, like I said, it's an IP that I think needs to stay around, and even if it stays in ideas, but let it come out with some sets and bring down the price on some of this. Bring down the price. I don't think it always needs to be a $300 and something like $50 expansion. It can be a little bit less than that. I think it can be like $100 set, and it can be a little maze or a little dungeon real quick.
Dungeon,
bring
like
out,
a little
bring
like
out a base plate.
Do like $150 dungeon, and you can have it like you get little sections. So you build the little sections, and they have little trapdoors, and you can kind of maneuver them around. So like your DM could like lay them out in a particular way, and you go through them as your little dungeon crawler.
Mm-hmm.
I think that'd be good if it was transformable, because that would be really fun.
And you could even do something like Lego Minotaur, the Lego Ninjago game, where you literally could roll, or you go through it and then there's a maze and then you roll for encounters. Like that's what we do anyways when we play. You travel, you roll for encounters. But I think it's really cool. I think it's a really neat idea.
I think it's going to be terrific. I hope that the Dungeons and Dragons stick around for a little bit. Because, I think it brings more imagination to it. You get to bring all this stuff combined together. And I think it's just a match made in heaven. I think it's a lot more, believable than Lego making shoes.
Mm. Yeah.
I'm just saying. But, speaking of, like, themes and all that, like, well, why don't we come up with our favorite themes? We're gonna exclude Star Wars. Like I know me and you, we have like I'm looking around and it's nothing but Lego Star Wars.
Yeah, weird. I'm looking around. I wonder what theme I like the most.
It's Star Wars. So exclude those 2 themes. What theme, retired or current, do you like the most, and why?
I guess I'll start. I already got one kind of figured out. As much as like I know pop culture is a thing, I know the MCU's out there, right? Superheroes are big. I love Lego Marvel superheroes. I love Lego Spider-Man. As much as they put out, as much randomness they put out, I love it. I love Spider-Man. He's my favorite hero. I'm very basic for saying that, but I don't care. I love Spider-Man. I love the idea that there was a Venom Source set. There's Venom Mechs. I mean, it's just like the possibilities you can do with Spider-Man are endless, and the fact that they made the Daily Bugle set recently is just proof that like they can make a serious set if they wanted to. That's really good, and I really do like that set. The amount of minifigs and the amount of references in that set is amazing. But Spider-Man overall, it's so popular. Every kid loves Spider-Man. The adults love Spider-Man, and you can't go wrong with Spider-Man. And I really do enjoy it. Some of it, it's redundant. It's pushed a lot. I mean, if I get another Spider-Bug, I might lose my mind. But I love when we get new Spider-Man figs, new villains, new Spider-Man suits, new characters. The possibilities are endless with it, and I love it.
I like Marvel. I think they have some pretty unique sets. It's just I don't know. There's something about it. It seems a lot like the DC superheroes. Like they're pushing out like as much as they can. Like I think we talked about it. I really enjoyed the Hall of Armor set, the original one that came
Yep.
out like during I think it was Endgame that came out, and then for some reason, like 2 or 3 years later, they release another one, and it's completely rebuilt. And you can see people online have already taken the old one, bought the pieces, and made it even bigger, and had all the Iron Mans in it. And now it feels like, oh, by the way, we're reversing that. So their like their collectible minifig line is awesome. I will say that it's cool. It has Moon Knight, which is one of my favorite ones, but there's it only came out to the What If sets that I really kind of have an interest in. And still my favorite Marvel set I have is Bro Thor's apartment.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I think it's getting overdone to an extent. Like the DC ones have stopped a lot because of they pumping out so many, right? Lego Batman was everywhere. You remember back in the day.
Yeah.
I like Batman, and I know you do too. But I think like Forest Fire really took off Batman for me wanting the Lego sets because he was always doing Lego Batman videos and they were great. But like when now Lego Marvel Superheroes or like whatever they're calling it now, it's so crazily done right now that I do hate the redundancy, and like a lot of the mechs aren't the best, but I do love the figures, and I will continue to get the figures as I can, just because they are the heroes that I love the most. I read comic books, and I wish they would do more modern iterations in the Lego sets, but I can't expect that out of children's toys, right? I can't expect that. So I'm okay with that. I mean, I won't grab the same Spider-Man again if I can help it. But sometimes the builds are pretty cool. But the redundancy is there, and I do agree with that. It's kind of not everything needs to be a set, and not every little set is that good. Like it's not like it's really boiling down to a lot of the bigger, more expensive sets that are actually really worth it.
Say the big Guardians of the Galaxy ships that they've been doing. I will say those are probably one of my favorites. I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy is like one of my favorite, like the Marvel movies they made. Just because it was just entertaining and it was funny. I liked the aesthetic that they had with it because I'm a Star Wars nerd. They're doing stuff in space. That's cool. And their ships look really cool. I think it's really good, but it's like, you notice how they remake stuff. The redundancy is they repetitive, redundant. It feels like they have they have about 2 or 3 good sets every wave, but a lot of it just seems very bland and very like
repetitive.
Yeah.
And it's another car. Like we just had a Miles Morales and Morbius car, or a Miles Morales car with Morbius set. Those two figures are great. The fact that Miles has a freaking car with a turbocharged webs coming out of the back makes no sense. I understand you're trying to make money, but you could just do packs or something. I mean, at this point. But again, I got it on sale just for that Miles Morales and a Morbius. Morbius is not my favorite hero, villain, anti-hero, whatever he is nowadays. But at least it's a cool way to get Morbius. Like
more
it's just,
than time.
Yeah. But that's just my 2 cents on that. What's basically this is my number 4 since Star Wars is number 1. What's your number 4?
Number 4, honestly, I'm going to pick Indiana Jones. I liked Indiana Jones. Yeah, like I went like, and I'm talking like both the current wave and the 2008 wave when they brought it back.
At its peak.
Dude, that was so peak. They had like 2-3 good years of Indiana Jones. Even though Kingdom of the Crystal Skull's not my favorite one, it had some awesome sets.
Yes,
it had
did.
the most. It had the tree cutter, which somehow I've ended up with 3 of them. It had the limited edition Pan Am plane, which I was able to get. I got almost every single like original Indiana Jones set. The figures are iconic. The sets are iconic. That is, in my opinion, 2008 is when Lego was starting to like reach its peak. Because everybody says 2009 Star Wars is about the peak of it. I say 2008 Lego Indiana Jones. It was amazing. You got everything that you could have wanted. They didn't really. I feel like they left a few movies like on the cutting floor. Like they had a bunch of sets for Raiders. They had 2 sets for Temple of Doom, and I believe they had 3 sets for Last Crusade. But it's, and I understand, like, it's in the newer sets look great. We should have gotten that Temple of Doom one. I don't know why. I would have bought it, but it's honestly, I think it's both. It brings in like that adventure theme. I know it's kind of like drawing a line because it has a few military bits in there, and Lego's like super anti-military. But if you look at it, it's an 80s hero that goes and beats up bad guys to get treasure that's like mystical. Like I don't see anything that's more Lego than Indiana Jones. I mean, Johnny Thunder was the exact same way.
Oh yeah, OG. Yeah, in my opinion, I love Lego Indiana Jones. The first game especially was crazy. First Lego Indiana Jones game was awesome.
Oh my, so many hours were on that game.
Yeah, so many hours. I remember you let me borrow it and Lego Batman on the on the Wii back in the day, back when we were in middle school. So like I have very fond memories of that kind of stuff. And I remember your Lego Indiana Jones sets when I came over, man, when we were kids, and I was like, there's no way. Like, look at you, man. You have like all the cool sets, man. And it had such a grasp at that year. Like, it was so cool to see all these sets. And then when they brought it back and they announced them coming back, I mean, like, looking at the 3 sets that we got, like the fighter plane, the escape from the Lost Tomb, and the Temple of the Golden Idol, those 3 sets, amazing. I mean, amazing to come back and show us what they can do, and show you that at any point they can just bring it back if they have the IP for it, right? Unfortunately, that Temple of the Temple of Doom that we did not get, I really wish you would have gotten. I don't know why we didn't. I mean, all the rumors are out there. I really wish we would have got that set. It would have been so sick. And the minifig selection too, because I really want more of the characters from Indiana Jones. And I think as like we get older, not only do we appreciate the sets, I think we appreciate minifigs a lot more when we get older. That we start paying attention to that kind of stuff. And I do like the variety we kind of got and stuff like that with the minifigs.
Like, speaking on that, it's like you look at the old school Indiana Jones, and it's iconic, it's nostalgic. You think it can't get any better. And then they got the new one where he has the hat with the print with the hair on it.
Yeah.
And honestly, it looks better. It will never be as I don't think it'll ever be as iconic as the original, because the stubble and the hat, perfect. It was a perfect figure. And they brought this new one, and it's great. It's a great upgrade, because Lego's been doing a lot with like the hats and all that, where now you put hats on and it has hair on it, because normally that's what it would be like in real life. The only problem with that is it's making all older figures look super tacky. Like, you can't just put a hat on a minifigure anymore. You have to have the hair attached to the hat on the minifigure.
Yeah, that's the sad part. But I mean, if you ever wanted to taste the nostalgia in a modern twist, go ahead and put the new hat on the old Indiana Jones. And I bet you that seems like the perfect combo of nostalgia and new nuances.
I'm gonna have to do that.
I do like it. I'm just looking back at some of the sets, like the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull sets. Those sets, I'm not gonna lie, are like probably some of the best ones, besides the original fighter plane that they did where the 2 planes fought each other. I just think that like the unique skull pieces that they put in the sets were really cool.
I'm so happy I have those. I found those when sorting, and I'm like, yep, I'm gonna put those in a bag and lock them away until I build that temple again. They
are really cool, man. That's a really good pick. I do enjoy like some Lego Indiana Jones because the movies are great. We won't talk about the new one too much. I mean, clearly, but
I'm
at the same
upset
time,
they didn't make a set based around the new one.
Yeah, old Indy wasn't it, man. I don't think they wanted to do it.
No, I guess they didn't. I'm glad Mutt wasn't in there, though.
Oh, man. R.I.P., though. Did he die in Nam or something?
He died in Nam.
Oh, it sucks.
So, at least he died a hero.
It's true.
But what about you? What would be your number... What would it be?
Number 3.
3.
So, my number 3... unpopular opinion is Lego Jurassic World / Jurassic Park / Lego Dinosaur. If you remember the original dinosaur sets that came in the eggs, that came in the little tubes like Bionicle, those were peak dinosaurs until we got real peak dinosaurs. Like, those are peak.
I forgot about those. You just unlocked that.
Those were the best thing ever. I had the like Brontosaurus and the Iguanodon. and they look nothing like they're supposed to, but they were the best thing ever. I loved them so much, man, and there's just so much nostalgia with them. But as a big fan of Jurassic Park and Jurassic World, I do love what they pump out. I wish I was into those Lego sets when they had some of the crazy ones, obscure ones coming out. But a lot of the newer sets, the dinosaurs are always hitting out of the park. The dinosaurs always look good. And the
I'm
new sets they just released for Chaos Theory, Jurassic World Chaos Theory, they're the vehicles and stuff like that actually look really good with that. And that 30th anniversary wave was amazing as well. Those dinosaurs were peak, and the vehicles were peak design as well.
I'm actually really surprised how much Lego has been able to pump out for these, like, because Lego stopped doing like Jurassic Park sets. They started doing mainly Jurassic World sets. And I mean, there's 3 movies, but I'm pretty sure a lot of the stuff you see in the sets didn't actually happen in the movie. So
100%.
I'm glad they're creative enough that they're able to like the people just get them because they're dinosaurs, and it doesn't just say dinosaur on the box. They say like the actual dinosaur's name,
Yep.
which is both awesome because it kind of teaches people about dinosaurs. Even though I recently just found out velociraptors aren't 6 feet tall.
Yep, that's true.
They're like they're barely 3 feet tall. They're basically geese.
Yeah, that's
I mean, but it's really cool to see like how well they do. They make all these unique molds. They have this unique, fun built set. Every set has a dinosaur. It's not kind of like I'm bringing it back to Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones, not every set had a treasure, but with every Jurassic Park or Jurassic World set, they all had a dinosaur. And I remember the earliest time I ever saw a Lego dinosaur was back when they did the Lego Studios thing.
yes.
When it had the what's it called? They had the green dinosaur. It was like a one-piece thing you had to put the jaw on, and you got the little camera, and you're supposed to kind of destroy the land. And I remember that being, I'm like, oh, that's a Lego dinosaur. That's cool. And then seeing what they did with Jurassic Park was like, this is insane. They have all these unique mods. I think I have like a dinosaur mold right here on my desk. The guy that comes out with the Jeep. And I'm just looking at it and I'm like, this is crazy how Lego has gotten to this point.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm looking back at it, you remind me of Lego Studios, and I count that like into Jurassic Park and Jurassic World because the Lego Studio one was a Jurassic Park 3 set because they were doing like Spider-Man and stuff like that. But
Yep.
with those sets is like those dinosaurs were mainly like brick built, like very very little molding done, but a lot of them were brick built, and they just hit different. And then but now looking at those, I'm like, man, this was peak. And then now you're seeing the actual custom molds that Lego's doing, the printing on them, the different color varieties we're doing on them. I just think they hit it out of the park every time I see a new dinosaur in a new color. It always hits really good. I haven't seen an ugly dinosaur. And the minifigs are great too. I love seeing Dr. Grant. I love seeing Owen Grady. Chris Pratt, and even though he's not reprising the role, I'm excited for the new movie coming out maybe next year with Scarlett Johansson being the lead actress in it. I'm excited to see what sets are going to come out and what it's going to be like a Black Widow fig, but in different clothes, basically. So I'm excited for that too. I think they're going to be really cool.
I feel like Lego and dinosaurs have always kind of gone together. It's sort of like cowboys and pirates and all that. It's just it's a theme that they kind of have hit because everybody likes dinosaurs. You're a child, you like, one of like 3 things. You like cowboys, pirates, or dinosaurs. And they've really done it. I'm looking at like the images of like the Lego Studio stuff, and I'm like these brick built dinosaurs don't really hold up too well like to nowadays standards. But I would love to see them like remake like the Lego Studios Jurassic Park 3 set in a modern format. I think that'd be really interesting for them to do.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't mind Lego Studios coming back. I understand they were behind the scenes stuff, but I would not hate to see that come back and do some behind the scenes stuff for like maybe like an animatronic T-Rex or something like that, because it was all animatronics or CGFX. So I think that stuff would be really neat to see in that format, and also just I know you're a big movie buff, so I think it's really cool to get some of that. And looking at the differences between like just a basic T Rex, like how it used to be like Lego Studios, like it was brick built basically,
Yep.
and it was just so funny looking. And then compare it to a brick built T Rex that we got now, like with the Jurassic Park gate over like 800 pieces inside of it. How much Lego has evolved their techniques, or you can always just go with the simple molded dinosaur that just molded T Rex that just looks so detailed and cool. The eyes are the print, and it just goes well with the set, and it's just so much you can do with Lego Jurassic World, and I want it to continue. And if it goes away, I'll be very sad.
No,
But
it's definitely a standpoint theme at this point because it's just like the dinosaurs. People like the dinosaurs way too much. I doubt they're going to get rid of it within the next 5 years.
yeah, and so that's my number three. I gotta stop yapping about it. What is your number three?
Number three, and I know you probably were waiting for me to say this, is Bionicle.
No,
I
whoa,
I
whoa!
love
Didn't see this
Bionicle.
coming.
I've gotten really back into it over the last couple months. I don't really know what spurred it on. I just remember seeing these things, and I remember I had these sets when I was a kid, and it's kind of hard for me to remind myself that these are Lego. Like this is Lego's theme. This was the original like story driven theme that Lego did that they basically used to help them get out of bankruptcy, and it worked. So I got really back into it, and then I kind of had this little thing like, oh, I want to buy all the original stuff because unfortunately a lot of my Bionicles fell victim to the garage sale. So they got sold. So I've been ending up buying, I think as of now, I need one more Toa and I'll have all of them. I just need a Kopaka Nuva and I'll have them. And then I have all my Bulrock. I have all the stuff. I don't really like Gen 2. I don't care. Bionicle kind of had a very, how do I put this? They didn't have a very enthusiastic end, and their revitalization sort of made everything like, instead of being mystical, it seemed sort of like random because they made it so now it's multiple planets and such. But I guess if you read some of the stuff, that's sort of how they were going with it at the beginning. But it's great, it's Lego action figures, and they're so unique, and they all have these unique storylines and abilities and such.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Bionicle. Not saying I hate it or I disagree with it. I'm just not. I only ever had a couple of the. I want to say they call them the Rakisha or Rakishi or whatever they call it. How do you say it?
Rakshi.
The Rakshi. Yeah, I had a couple of the Rakshi. I had the red one and I had the blue and say white one. I think they were so cool and they had like a little worm inside like their back. So I don't know like the lore behind it, but I thought they were so cool to have them because they came in the tubes. I remember them coming in the tubes and you build them out of it. And I got a couple of those, and I actually had like repeats of them. I have no idea why. I don't know what happened to them, but I had them, and they were like those Technic freaking builds, and they were really cool. And I was just like, man, I know nothing about this, even though it was all over. Like, I just had no interest in watching it or anything like that. But I just love that set, and I know the fandom is huge for it, and it's crazy how big the fandom is for it. But I wouldn't mind getting myself a Rakshi. What is his name? Turok. Rakshi Turok, the red one that I want, and I wouldn't mind having one of those in my collection again, just so I can have it for nostalgia's sake. And they look really cool. The designs have changed, obviously, through what species and what they are. But they don't look bad. Like, I don't think they look bad anywhere. I just think that I wasn't a fan of the built figures. I wouldn't be a fan of these, in the grand scheme of things. But I do think they look really cool.
I'm a little surprised because when I went down this rabbit hole of like, oh, let me look at Bionicles, I'm surprised how much Bionicles still has a very devoted fan base. To the point people are like literally there's companies that are reprinting masks because some of the masks are either forgotten or impossible to come by unless you have hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Which it's like if you're a Lego purist and you have the money, you go right for it. But someone like me, I'm probably just gonna buy these transparent ones because they never made them. But
Yeah.
I love it. I love the story. Each character, they have comics on this. They have movies. Each character has their own. They have this funny way of all about him. Like Tahu, the red one, he's a bit of a hothead because he's lava, and whereas you have Kopaka, the ice one, he's a bit of a loner and he gives everybody a cold shoulder all the time because he's ice. And Lee was always got his head in the clouds because he's the Toa of air. And they all have this funny way with them, and it's such a compelling story. And honestly, it's something I grew up with. I didn't even get into the story until a couple months ago.
Hmm.
So I'm not a true Bionicle fan. I just want to get the stuff that I just want to get my old toys back.
I agree with you, man. And like off topic of like Mega Blocks, like speaking of randomest toys, I remember that I told you about that Magma Dragon I had from Mega Blocks. Turns out Mega Blocks makes it. I gotta find one, but like something like that, the nostalgia with it, it hits a little bit more when you're adult and you can see it, and you wish it was the original, but you know maybe the replacement is just as good as the original in your eyes.
I mean, it depends. Sometimes the original just has that nostalgia thing, but you gotta take those goggles off and say like, oh, does this work better? Or is this as fragile as it used to be? Because I know some of my Bionicles are super fragile because they're made. A lot of them are that reddish brown, so you gotta be super careful because they're super brittle.
Oh
But
man.
enough about that. What about your number two?
So right my number two, right behind my number one Star Wars that we agreed upon. My number two, without a doubt, is Lego Ninjago. If that wasn't apparent since I don't know when, I love Ninjago since the TV show came out. I remember watching it back when I was a kid, and then even my little sister brought it back up one time watching it. I was like, no way, she's watching this. Like, and I sat down and rewatched like all like 10 seasons of Masters of Spinjitzu and Secrets of Spinjitzu and stuff like that. I can't give you every single detail about Ninjago, but the fact that they've continued on for so long, trying to be canceled by other themes and other Lego IPs, and the only one that stands tall is Lego Ninjago to this day. Like what Chima tried, like they couldn't. Like only person I can see now is Monkey Kid, not even competing in the long run, but just competing in the fame for right now. But Ninjago has a big part in my heart. I love it. I think it's I think it's like the greatest theme ever if Star Wars wasn't around, honestly. The spinners when they came out were amazing. Like there's so many spinners as the spinner packs, and then we got the vehicles, then we got the dragons, then we got the like the play sets of the environments like the dojos and the fortresses. Like the Fire Temple, the original Fire Temple is like one of the greatest sets ever. And the dragons and the Destiny's Bounty, Samurai X, like the Great Devourer, which we still need a remake of that. But man, like I could go on and on about Ninjago, and it's just not only the Lego sets themselves. The show is so fun. The ninjas are amazing. I mean, you got your you got your four ninjas, and then you got Lloyd being the fifth green ninja, and then now Nia, even though they don't go by color anymore, they go by element. But it's just like the story goes on, and I love how it's continuing. I can the Dragons Rising stuff. I'm not caught up all the way, but I do enjoy it. I think it's really cool. It's a nice little take on the series, um, giving other people spotlight, but at the same time giving us our main crew who we love because they try taking them away. It don't work. We need our four ninja or our core ninja. My bad, but
I
I
mean,
do love it. I do love it.
I like Ninjago. I think it's very unique. It's very cool. I of course liked them when it was just Spinjitzu. So you would because I remember seeing those commercials and it was basically just Lego Beyblades at that point, where
Hmm.
they just spun them and you fought them against each other. It's developed its whole storyline, this whole arc. Even a like a theatrical movie, which is not canon. Which you
It
have
is
to
not.
understand that you have to watch the show, which I have still not watched the show yet. But I love how unique it gets. A lot of the figures are really great, and I feel like Ninjago is one of those. I call it test themes where they go and they throw random figures into it as a way to test them out and see how well they do. Because I mean, it's the only theme that comes with those Cobra people, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, like the Serpentine have been kind of gone for a while in Lego Ninjago. They were like they're like the big season 1 villains, all right? The skeletons that they had were really cool, like the forearm skeletons that they released back in the day. That was like pilot stuff, but like the Serpentine were season 2 or season 1, and it was great. I mean, I love the Serpentine. They're all the different snakes, the snake generals with their long bodies and stuff like that. Like we don't see that anymore. And Lego really tested the grounds by putting that around. And with all the, like their transparent pieces they put out, with all the like the ghost people, they put out more snake people ish. They put out a Cobra minifig not too long ago with the crystallized sets. So it's like they do that, and you're right. They test things that match the show, and then now you see those pieces everywhere else. Like you will see them everywhere else because of Ninjago.
The only thing is, it's like sometimes, and from what I've heard about you, the sets don't really line up with the show
Which
very
is
well.
so weird because it's
it,
their IP.
It would be like if it was like a Marvel or a DC or even a Star Wars thing, I could get it. You know, there's probably like a connection, like a communication error. But the fact that it's a Lego homebrew set, like it's a Lego homebrew theme that they created. They created the story, they created the lore behind it, and they're the ones funding the show. Yet they can't get all the stuff accurate.
Like it doesn't make sense sometimes. Like there was the Master of the Mountain set or a wave that came out a while ago, and that's when I got really back into it again. And I'm like, these are so cool. But when I watched the show, I was like, why are the enemies like the enemies that you had in the sets are actually on the ninja side, like for the most part. Like they challenged them like once and they became friends. The real villain was like always there in the sets, and the skeletons were in the sets, but these I forget what the months and like the ogres, they were like little goblins and ogres. They weren't bad. Like they were like enslaved in the show, and then they freed them and they became their allies. So it's like, but in the sets, they were treated as the villains in the sets, which is so weird. I just don't understand that. Maybe it is the same thing. Maybe it's a pipeline issue. By the time the sets are coming out and approved, the show is, already doing something different. I don't know. I just don't understand that. But I do like how they do test boundaries of like the themes, like that Masters of the Mountain set. All the ninjas got armor like they were knights. Like they had like face armor and on shoulder armor and stuff like that. Which I'm like, oh my gosh, this is Lego Castle. And then the next scene, they were scuba diving. This is Lego Atlantis. Like they all had the suits change with the season, and I appreciate that. I appreciate change in a good way.
I will say, like, I think Lego Ninjago is the more successful version of Lego Clutch Powers. Because they had the movie,
Yeah.
and it was like considered the first Lego movie, and then they went to Atlantis because Ninjago sort of happens in the same universe as like Lego City.
Technically, yeah. Technically,
it's one of like all that stuff happens basically in the same universe because you get Johnny Thunder in one set, and you even get Clutch Powers in another set. So it's I feel like Lego is just the more successful line of like the in-universe story. So it's really cool because storytelling is just as fun as imagination and creating your own thing.
I mean, Clutch Powers is in Ninjago, and I think it's funny because they have Lego IP has its own multiverse. Like Chima showed up in Ninjago once when they were universe hopping. So I think it's very good. I think all in all, it's proven its worth. And I will continue to buy Ninjago until they stop making it, which I'll be very sad that day. But that is my TED talk about Ninjago because I love it and it's amazing. What is your number 2?
The Lego multiverse.
It's a real thing. Lego Dimensions.
True. I mean, yeah, it's the Lego multiverse. I that should be honestly a game. You just hop from from universe to universe.
I'd play it.
I'd play it. So. My number 2 theme, and it's only a recent theme. It's not an old one. Is Speed Champions. I'm a bit of a car guy. I like cars. I like the sounds they make. I'm not a fan of electric cars. I like either classic cars or cool cars. Even like everyday cars. Like I like my Dodge Charger. I love it. I like your Honda Civic. I love it. I think it's great.
Honda gang. Shout out to Honda gang.
I'm a big fan of I got into Lego Speed Champions back into back when they first started. I remember I saw it on Amazon out of nowhere, and I'm like, what? A McLaren P1? Like, what? And I looked it up, and this is like 2015, I believe. No,
Yeah.
not even. Maybe not even. I'm not too sure. But I remember I bought them, and I bought them randomly, and I'm like, these are really kind of cool. I got the P1 McLaren, I got the LaFerrari, and I got a Porsche 918. And I was watching a show. If you're a car junkie, you know the show Top Gear turned into the Grand Tour. And what was the first episode they had was they raced these three cars. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. Now I'm gonna get the rest. So I got the Corvette and I got the Mustang, and I got almost every six stud wide car because a lot of them were kind of sketchy. I don't Lego didn't even have an official like proper image for the Bugatti Chiron. It was a blurred image, so I was a little skeptical on that. I'm like, this is not real. This can't be real. And then they went to the 8 wide, and I'm not gonna lie, I hated the 8 wide at first. I thought it was a stupid thing. Now I'm absolutely in love with it. All my cars are 8 wide. I've converted cars into 8 wide. My city has nothing but 8 wide cars. I think it's a great theme. I'm not too fond of we have to make these extravagant supercars. I think they should go right to making middle class cars, such as like do a Civic Type R or do a Subaru. They haven't done a Subaru yet. I think it'd be kind of cool. Do a modern Challenger, do a modern Camaro. They do Camaros, but they tend to always be like NASCAR variants. Hell, even a Toyota Camry TRD would be pretty cool to see. I would love to see these more middle class cars. I do like to see the supercars like the Countach and some of the Ferraris, but they have this new Lamborghini out. It's a one-seater, and I honestly, I am not a fan of it.
Yeah, I as going back to Speed Champions, when I got back into Lego, one of the first sets I saw on the shelves was that Nissan GTR Nismo, and I thought that was like the coolest thing ever. And I thought, and when I was like, Speed Champions, what is that? And I grabbed that set, and I'm excited. I'm like, I like JDM cars. I like American muscle cars too, but I'm a bigger fan of JDM cars just because of like the customization people do to them all the time. And then when I saw that, I was like, yo, where's the rest of them? And there's like none. That's why I was my only gripe. But then I keep going down the line, and then the Supra came out. The Toyota Supra came out. I was like, no freaking way. And I love that. Like, I love that car. And then the Paul Walker's GTR his Skyline came out. And I was like, that Skyline is amazing. And then I got Vin Diesel's Challenger. So I'm like, there's so much they could do with it. And I am like, looking back on it, I would have loved to grab like one of my I wish I was into Lego more sooner, or back into Speed Champions sooner, because I would have grabbed that Ford Fiesta M Sport back in the day. That one, like looking back on it, going on the secondary market is a little bit pricey, but I would love to grab that car just because it's a Ford Fiesta. Like, that's hilarious. And that's what I'm saying. We don't need the hyper version of every car. Like, maybe you do for Speed Champions since this is the name, but we can do like the Civic Type R, the TRD Camry. Like, we can do that.
What's
the
funny
GR Corolla.
I got my Fiesta on a clearance rack.
Dang. And I'm over here like not willing to spend the money on it.
No, right? Like, I mean, I've looked it up, and the McLaren P1 I have, people want like $100 for it. The Bugatti Chiron that I missed out on, they want more. They want money for those, and I'm like, all right, like, they can make another one. They haven't done a McLaren in the 8 wide yet. Oh no, they have. I'm sorry, they did the F1 McLaren. So correct me. But I would really like. I would love them to do more like civilian cars or even ancient cars. They did the James Bond DB5. They did Dom Toretto's Charger, and then they did the Paul Walker Skyline. And I love that idea, like, oh, they can incorporate movies into this. This is great. I would love to see, I don't know, a Bullet Mustang, or I would love to see the kit car from Knight Rider or something like that. Do more of that, but it seems like they're going to say, no, we're not going to do any more of that because there's no other cars. Like, the Orange Supra, do another, just give us more movie cars. We like movie cars. I think, honestly, that would make that theme a little bit better, is if they kind of went back to what they originally did, and they would have like this whole slew. They used to have about 10 sets out. Now they only push out about 8 a year, which is a little upsetting. But
Yeah.
more I like the F1 cars, don't get me wrong. I like the super cars they put out, but we kind of need more like everyday cars. I want to build my car in Lego.
That is true. I do too. I do like some of the throwbacks, like you said, movie cars. Like there's the Aston Martin, and then there is the Fast and Furious ones. But you know what I've never really noticed much is like a lot of the hypercars have the minifig himself is like matching the car, right? Like they are wearing Ferrari logos, they're wearing Lamborghini suits and stuff like that. And I'm going down the line. Besides movie characters who are dressed like in movie stuff. The one that cracks me up the most is the Mercedes AMG ones. That 2-pack that released, because the two people, like, because you get 2 figs and 2 vehicles, they look like complete D-bags, like with their shades on.
They do.
Like
Unfortunately,
they look like D-bags. And everybody I've known who owns AMG is a D-bag.
The thing is, unfortunately, they're very good about the faces they put. Like, I wonder if there's just a guy there that says, this face wouldn't really own this kind of car. This face looks like I can park in the handicap spot and nobody's going to tell me otherwise. Like, they were really good about picking. They have really good torsos with it. I like it because you can get brand, like, torsos. Like, you can get, like, Porsche shirts and all that.
Yeah, like, I'm looking at the Lamborghini, what is it? The Lambo V12 Vision. Like, that minifig and the vehicle itself looks crazy. I like it a lot. And I might pick this up like recently. Like this looks really cool. But the minifig, I love the actual like what is it called? Not jumpsuit. Is that what they wear? Their jumpsuit.
Is it like a racing suit? Then
yeah, it's like a racing suit.
It's a flame retardant.
Yeah,
suit.
so they're wearing like the female driver's wearing like a jumpsuit, but it's all like this military green. And you know me, man, being when I was in, I love that green and that khaki they give out. Like I love that kind of stuff.
I haven't looked at the figure for that yet. I haven't looked at any of the figures for the new stuff that's come out. I've sort of been avoiding it.
Look at that! Look at the AMG one, and you're like, I'm telling you, look like.
I'm gonna know. I have them like right next to me, and I'm looking at it. I'm like, that unfortunately is so true. Like they walk around like, you know, they just they can go wherever they want, and it's so funny that you brought that up because that is literally what some of these sets drive. And I like how it's Mercedes that look like the D-bags.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, no offense if you actually own a Mercedes, it's just funny.
Yeah. I do like Speed Champions. I want to get more of the cars, but if they're not, and like until they're more like relatable, like I know the Nissan Skyline, like it ain't that relatable, right? Not everybody has one, but like you can do a Mustang, like the Dark Horse Mustang. It looks like a Mustang.
Yeah,
I like that one a lot. But you can do you can do a fastback or a Fox body. You can do that. The Camaros, you can start doing the Camaro Challengers. You can do them a little bit better now. Again, you can start doing the Japanese cars. I mean, like a lot of people have those cars. You know how cool it is to have your car in Lego, or at least a version of your car. Yeah, the high performance version. Like that'd be so cool to have that in Lego.
Like, I would love to see an Evo. I think that'd be really cool.
Dude, stop! I would love to see an Evo. I would love to see a Hellcat, like a more modern take on the Hellcat. Like, give me the Hellcat logo on it.
I would like them to do a duo, so you can get the Hellcat Charger and you can get a Demon Challenger.
That'd be dope. I like that idea a lot.
Yeah, because it's like why not? It's like they already you can get the Demon back when it first like was announced, but now they have a new Demon, and the Charger has a Hellcat variant. Why not do both? I mean, you can. They're both wide body, so.
Yeah, and I do like the it's the 8-stud wide look now, right? It's not 6-stud. So the 8 wide bodies I think are, like, in my opinion, not owning any of the 6 studs, but looking at them and comparing them, I think the 8-stud was the right way to go. It's just you can either make it a 2-seater or a more comfortable 2-seater, or the fact that it actually has more detail, more space to work with. Because some of the 6 studs, I can see, like the old Mustang GT, it looks cool, but it looks like it needs to be bigger. Honestly, it looks like it needs to be a little bit bigger. And comparing it to the Dark Horse, it's night and day.
About the 6 studs is they're very sticker heavy. You have to rely on stickers for details, whereas the 8 studs you actually don't. You can they have details, of course, but the 8 studs more act like a 1/16th model car, whereas like the 6 studs act more as like this is like what a Lego car, because they changed the design. instead of measuring from the height of the figure, they measured the width, and that's like accurate to the size of the car if it was the width.
Yeah.
But
that is a very good pick, and I'm excited to see more of it if they take a let's say civilian approach to it.
But I guess we got to kind of point, and say Star Wars is definitely like our go-to.
100%.
100%.
Like I love when Star Wars. Not everything in Star Wars everybody loves, and not everything I like. But for some reason, Lego Star Wars has always had a place in my fandom, and more so than sometimes even actual Star Wars canon. And I will continue to buy Lego Star Wars, the sets that I like. I've gotten better at not buying every single set because it's Lego Star Wars, but buying the sets I truly do enjoy, and there always tends to be a lot of them I enjoy.
The only set I need to buy of Lego Star Wars is Ahsoka's shuttle. That's the only one I really want to get right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know.
You
want the minifigs? I want the minifigs. They have really cool minifigs in that one. It's such an iconic set, and the fact that it's been around for so long, I think it's Lego's longest lasting theme, to be honest.
Dude, I mean, unless Lego City's been there before, right? I mean, like, as long as, like, I guess IP wise, like, it might be Lego's longest lasting theme.
But remember, when Lego Star Wars started in 1999, it was considered Lego System Star Wars. That's
true.
So I don't know, man, that might be something we need to look up.
Overall, Star Wars has a fond place in nostalgia and memory in my heart, and I love it and I enjoy it, and it's a great theme. It's been around for a long time. I think it's gonna be around for a lot longer too. I do too. All right, and I think we're going to call that an episode now this week. Thank you all for watching. If you liked it, please leave a like. It goes a long way. If you have any topics or you have any criticism you want to give us, go ahead and leave it in the comments below. We read all of them. Do you have anything closing argument to say? Well, guys, and hopefully you enjoyed the podcast and enjoy our ideas. Bounce them off of us because we're yappers, clearly. So we like to yap and give us something to yap about. But I think that's all I got. All right. Until next time, this is AFOLs Only. I'm Austin. And I'm Jeremy. And we'll see you next time. Bye. Bye.